100 multiple choice questions on the topic of basic features of the Indian economy. ଭାରତୀୟ ଅର୍ଥନୀତିର ମୌଳିକ ବୈଶିଷ୍ଟ୍ୟ. So, question number 1. Which sector contributes the most to India's GDP? କେଉଁ ସେକ୍ଟର କଣ୍ଟ୍ରିବ୍ୟୁଟ୍ କରିଥାଏ ଇଣ୍ଡିଆର GDP? ଏଗ୍ରିକଲଚର, ଇଣ୍ଡଷ୍ଟ୍ରି, ସର୍ଭିସେସ୍, ମାଇନିଂ. Services contributes the most to India's GDP. This sector is the largest contributor to India's GDP. India's economy is classified as socialist, capitalist, mixed, communist, or what? Mixed. India's economy is mixed economy. Classified as mixed economy. India has a mix of public and private ownership. Which plan aimed at economic liberalization in India? First 5-year plan, fifth 5-year plan, 1991 economic reforms, 10th 5-year plan. 1991 economic reform is aimed at economic liberalization in India. Liberalization, privatization and globalization started in 1991. Which of the following is a feature of Indian economy? ଏମାନଙ୍କ ମଧ୍ୟରୁ କୋଉଟା ଫିଚର ଅଟେ ଇଣ୍ଡିଆନ୍ ଇକୋନୋମିର? କ୍ୟାପିଟାଲ ଇଣ୍ଟେନ୍ସିଭ୍, ହାଇ ଇନକମ୍ ଇକୋନୋମି, ଲେବର ସରପ୍ଲସ୍ ଇକୋନୋମି, ନନ୍ ଅଫ୍ ଦ ଏଭବ୍. ଲେବର ସରପ୍ଲସ୍ ଇକୋନୋମି. Labor surplus economy is a feature of the Indian economy. India has a large population leading a labor surplus. What is India's rank in terms of GDP? Nominal, globally, approx. 1st, 3rd, 5th, 10th. 5th. 5th is India's rank in terms of GDP, nominal, globally, approx. As of recent data, India ranks 5th in GDP nominal terms. Which is the primary sector of the economy? Manufacturing, banking, agriculture, IT. Agriculture. Agriculture is the primary sector of the economy. Agriculture falls under the primary sector. Disguised unemployment is mainly seen in agriculture. Agriculture କ୍ଷେତ୍ରରେ unemployment ପ୍ରାୟତଃ ଦେଖାଯାଏ. Too many people working with little productivity is disguised unemployment. Which organization estimates India's GDP? NSO. National Statistical Office NSO calculates GDP. NSO estimates India's GDP. Which term refers to income inequality in India? Inclusive growth, income disparity, balanced growth, none of the above. Income disparity. Income disparity refers to income inequality in India. It refers to unequal distribution of income. Population growth in India is considered a burden. High population growth strains resources. The Green Revolution was related to agricultural productivity. The Green Revolution was related to agricultural productivity is correct answer. Green Revolution boosted food grain production. The term dual economy in India refers to coexistence of modern and traditional sector. Is correct answer. India has modern industry and traditional agriculture. What is the literacy rate of India as per 2011 census? 74.04% is the literacy rate of India as per 2011 census. As per 2011 census data. Which of these a challenge to Indian economy? ଏମାନଙ୍କ ମଧ୍ୟରୁ କୋଉଗୁଡ଼ିକ ଇଣ୍ଡିଆନ୍ ଇକୋନୋମିକୁ ଚ୍ୟାଲେଞ୍ଜ କରିଥାଏ? Poverty, yes. Unemployment, yes. Inflation, yes. These are all challenge to Indian economy. All are key economic issue. What does HDI stand for? Human Development Index. It measures health, education and standard of living. Which sector is the largest employer in India? Agriculture sector is the largest employer in India. Still the largest in terms of employment. Which of the following is an example of a public sector enterprise? ONGC is an example of public sector enterprise. Oil and Natural Gas Corporation. ONGC is government owned. FDI stand for Foreign Direct Investment. FDI stand for Foreign Direct Investment. FDI means investment from foreign entities. Which Indian state has the highest GSDP 2024-25 projected? Maharashtra. Maharashtra Indian state has the highest GSDP 2024-25 projected. Maharashtra leads in GSDP, Gross State Domestic Product, GSDP. Niti Aayog replaced which planning body? Planning Commission. Niti Aayog replaced Planning Commission. It was replaced in 2015. India's economy is primarily service oriented. India's economy is primarily service oriented. Services dominate GDP, Gross Domestic Product. Which of these is a characteristic of underdeveloped economy? Low productivity. Low productivity is a characteristic of underdeveloped economy, common in underdeveloped nations. Which type of unemployment is common among educated youth in India? Educated unemployment. Educated unemployment type of unemployment is common among educated youth in India. Educated but jobless youth. The currency of India is managed by RBI. RBI managed currency. RBI means Reserve Bank of India, controls monetary policy and currency. The informal sector in India is also called unorganized sector, small unregistered enterprise. Which is the apex bank in India? RBI, Reserve Bank of India is the apex bank in India. Reserve Bank of India is India's central bank. Who prepares the union budget in India? Ministry of Finance. Ministry of Finance prepares the union budget in India. It is responsible for the annual budget. India's economy after independence was mostly mixed economy. Both public and private sector coexist. Which sector is known as the tertiary sector? Services. Services sector is known as the tertiary sector, includes IT, banking, tourism, etc. The problem of poverty in India is mainly due to high industrialization, unemployment, overpopulation. Both B and C. Unemployment and overpopulation is main problem of poverty in India. These are root causes. Which is not a feature of Indian economy? Agriculture. High dependency on agriculture, self-sufficiency in oil, mixed economy, low per capita income. Correct answer. Self-sufficiency in oil is correct answer. India imports most of its oil. Self-sufficiency in oil is not a feature of Indian economy, or other are all is features of the Indian economy. But high dependency on agriculture, mixed economy, low per capita income is a feature of Indian economy, but self-sufficiency in oil is not. Unemployment due to lack of skills is called structural. Skill mismatch leads to this. Correct answer. Unemployment due to lack of skills is called structural. Skill mismatch leads to this. The first 5-year plan focused on agriculture. The goal was food security. Which is a feature of capitalist economy? Free market. Free market is a feature of capitalist economy. Private ownership and free market dominate. Which sector contributes most to employment in India? Agriculture. Agriculture sector contributes most to employment in India. Still employs around 45% of population. HDI is published by UNDP. United Nations Development Programs published HDI. Which index measure inflation in India? WPI. Wholesale price index measure in inflation. India's per capita income is measured in rupees. It's calculated in national currency. Which of these is a measure of economic development? GDP, HDI, literacy rate, all of the above. All of the above. All are measures of economic development. All are indicators of development. What does LPG in economic reforms stand for? LPG stand for liberalization, privatization, globalization. उदारीकरण, घरोईकरण, विश्वीकरण. These reforms began in 1991. Which organization replaced the Planning Commission? Niti Aayog. Niti Aayog organization replaced the Planning Commission, established in 2015 to guide policy. Who regulates the stock market in India? SEBI. Security and Exchange Board of India regulates the stock market in India. SEBI ensures fair functioning of markets. Which term described unequal wealth distribution? Income disparity. Income disparity described unequal wealth distribution. Unequal wealth income spread. Main objective of economic planning in India was economic development. Aim to develop all sectors. Which one is a characteristic of Indian agriculture? Labor intensive. Labor intensive is a characteristic of Indian agriculture. More human labor used. Who prepares economic survey in India? Ministry of Finance. Ministry of Finance prepares economic survey of India, presented before the Union budget. Which Indian state has highest literacy rate 2021? Kerala. Kerala state has highest literacy rate. Over 94% literacy rate. India's unemployment rate is measured by National Simple Survey Office collects data NSSO. Which of these is a primary economic activity? Fishing. Fishing is a primary economic activity, directly used natural resources. Which of the following is a renewable resources? कोयला, पेट्रोलियम, wind energy, natural gas. Wind energy is a renewable resources, can be replaced naturally. Which of these is a major reason for low per capita income in India? High birth rate, high literacy, industrialization, low population. High birth rate. High birth rate is a major reason for low per capita income in India. More people, lower per capita income. MSME stands for Micro, Small and Medium Enterprise. Important sector for employment. Which sector includes cottage industry? Secondary. Secondary sector includes cottage industry. Cottage industries are small scale manufacturing. Which of the following is not a feature of Indian agriculture? Seasonal dependency, modern technology use, monsoon dependency, fragments land holdings. Modern technology use. Modern technology use is not a feature of Indian agriculture, but seasonal dependency, monsoon dependency, fragmented land holdings, these are all features of the agriculture. Which is a measure of standard of living? Life expectancy, per capita income, literacy rate, all of the above. All of the above. All are measure of standard of living. Life expectancy, per capita income, literacy rate are standard of living. All of the above. Which Indian city is known as the financial capital? Mumbai. Mumbai city is known as the financial capital. Mumbai hosts stock markets, banks, etc. Which body advised government on policy matters? Niti Ayoga. Niti Ayoga advised government on policy matters. Replaced Planning Commission. Which organization supports rural development in India? NABARD. NABARD organization supports rural development in India. NABARD provides rural finance and supports. National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development, NABARD. Which of these is not a source of revenue for the government? Taxes, donations, disinvestment, loans. Donation. Donation is not a source of revenue for the government, but taxes, disinvestment, loan are a sources of revenue of the government, but not sources is donation. Poverty line in India is based on income, consumption expenditure, wealth, poverty on consumption expenditure. Consumption expenditure is poverty line in India based on minimum required consumption. A major problem of the Indian economy is surplus labor, balanced development, loan inflation, savings. Surplus labor is a major problem of the Indian economy. Too many workers with low productivity. Which of these is a direct tax? GST, income tax, excise duty, custom duty. Income tax is a direct tax paid directly in individuals on income. Which of these is an indirect tax? Income tax, corporate tax, GST, wealth tax. GST is an indirect tax collected on goods and services. Inflation is decrease in money supply, decrease in prices, increase in general price level, increase in demand only. Increase in general price level is inflation. Inflation affects purchasing power. Which sector was most liberalized after 1991 reforms? Agriculture, industry, defense, banking. Industry. Industry sector was most liberalized after 1991 reforms. Udarikaran. Industrial licensing was removed. Which of these is a characteristic of development economy? Birth rate, low literacy, high per capita income, prime per capita income is a characteristic of developed economy. Indicates higher standard of living. Which of these is a social indicator? Number of cars, electricity use, literacy rate, number of mobile phones. Literacy rate is a social indicator. Reflects education level. Which of the following is part of human capital? Tools, buildings, skilled workers, machines. Skilled workers. Skilled workers is a part of human capital. Human capital equal to education plus health plus skills. Who published the World Development Report? IMF, UNDP, World Bank, WTO. World Bank. World Bank published the World Development Report, annual report on economic development. Which index is used for measuring income inequality? Gini index, HDI, GDP, CPI. Gini index. Gini index is used for measuring income inequality. Higher Gini, more inequality. Which of these is not included in GDP? Government spending, illegal activities, exports, investments. Answer is illegal activities. Illegal activities is not included in GDP. But government spending, exports, investment are included in GDP. GDP includes only legal recorded activities. Which of the following is not a factor of production? Land, labor, capital, money. Money is not a factor of production, but land, labor, capital are factor of production. Money facilitates production, not a direct input. Which of these is not a economic activity? Teaching in a school, working on a farm, cooking for family, working in a factory. Cooking for family is not an economic activity. Teaching in a school, working on a farm, working on a factory is economic activity. Not monetary exchange involved. National income includes bank money, gifts from abroad, wage and salaries, lottery winnings. Wage and salaries included national income. Only income from productivity activity is counted. बहुत वर्षा होची बहुत. Which country is India's largest trading partner as of recent year? China, UAE, USA, Japan. USA is India's largest trading partner. USA has become India's top trade partner. GDP stands for Gross Domestic Product, measures total value of goods services in year. India's economic system aims to achieve growth, social justice, self-reliance, all of the above. Growth, social justice, self-reliance is India's economic system aim. The concept of trickle-down effect refers to direct aid to poor, wealth spreading from rich to poor, economic downfall, tax reduction. Wealth spreading from rich to poor is concept of trickle-down effect. Assumes growth benefits all over time. Which of the following schemes aim to reduce rural unemployment? उज्ज्वला योजना, मनरेगा, आयुष्मान भारत, स्वच्छ भारत. मनरेगा scheme aims to reduce rural unemployment. Gives guarantee rural employment. Which is a part of the organized sector? Street vendor, government school teacher, daily wage laborer, handicapped artisan. Government school teacher is a part of the organized sector. Organized sector includes job with regular pay and benefits. Which is not a component of HDI? Education, life expectancy, GDP growth, standard of living. GDP growth is not a component of HDI, but education, life expectancy, standard of living are component of HDI. HDI focus on human well-being, not economic growth. Privatization means government taking over companies, selling public sector to private sector, closing companies, none of the above. Selling public sector to private sector. Privatization means selling public sector to private sector. Reduces government role in business. बिजनेस रे गवर्नमेंट रूल को रिड्यूस करवा आउ पब्लिक सेक्टर रु प्राइवेट सेक्टर को सेलिंग करवा प्रोडक्ट. व्हिच इंडियन सेक्टर हैज द हाईएस्ट एफडीआई इनफ्लो? एग्रीकल्चर, रिटेल, सर्विसेज, माइनिंग. सर्विसेज सेक्टर इंडिया हैज द हाईएस्ट एफडीआई इनफ्लो. आईटी, टेलीकॉम, बैंकिंग attract the most FDI. The informal sector is also known as organized sector, unorganized sector, private sector, public sector. Unorganized sector. The informal sector is known as unorganized sector. Includes small scale, low regulations jobs. Which of the following is not a cause of inflation? Increase in production, demand exceeding supply, rise in wage, increase in fuel price. Increase in production is not a cause of inflation, but demand exceeding supply, rise in wage, increase in fuel price are cause of inflation. More supply usually reduced inflation. Which Indian scheme provides food security? Midday meal, PMAY, PMJDY, NPS. Midday meal scheme provides food security. Provides free meal to school children. Which of the following is a nationalized bank? HDFC, ICICI, SBI, Axis. SBI, State Bank of India. SBI is owned by the Government of India. The service sector includes fishing, construction, banking, mining, banking. The service sector includes banking. It is part of the tertiary sector. Which of the following is not a feature of Indian economy? Dual economy, rapid urbanization, full employment, demographic dividend. Full employment. Full employment is not a feature of Indian economy. But dual economy, rapid urbanization, demographic divided are feature of Indian economy. India faced unemployment problems. Which of these is an example of capital goods? Bread, machinery, water, clothes. Machinery. Machinery is an example of capital goods used in production of other goods. The main sources of income for the central government is income tax, GST, customs duty, corporate tax. GST is the main sources of income of the central government. GST is the largest contributor to revenue. Make in India campaign was launched to promote companies. Make in India companies was launched to promote tourism, foreign travel, manufacturing, agriculture. Make in India company was launched to promote manufacturing, aimed at boosting domestic production. India is rich in human resources, oil reserves, gold production, car exports. Human resources. India is rich in human resources, large working age population. Which is not a major challenge to Indian economy? Unemployment, balanced growth, poverty, inflation. Balanced growth is not a major challenge to Indian economy, but unemployment, poverty, inflation are a major challenge to Indian economy. Growth is uneven across regions. Skill India mission was launched to provide job, encourage savings, promote entrepreneurship, training for youth, train youth. Skill India mission was launched for train youth, aim to enhance employability. Which institution help in reducing rural poverty? RBI, NABARD, SEBI, Niti Aayog. NABARD institution help in reducing rural poverty, provides rural financial support. Which index measure inflation at the retail level? WPI, CPI, GDP deflator, HDI. CPI index measure inflation at the retail level. Consumer price index, CPI. Consumer price index tracks retail price. Which sector is known for seasonal employment? Service, industry, agriculture, education. Agriculture sector is known for seasonal employment. Depends on crop season. Which of the following is an example of infrastructure? TV, road, shoes, food. Road is an example of infrastructure. Basic physical structure for economic activity. What is India's economy status in world as per nominal GDP? First, fifth, eighth, tenth. Fifth is the Indian's economy status in the world. India is the fifth largest economy by nominal GDP.